Welcome to AI Dispatch, your channel for the latest AI videos on YouTube. If you don't want to miss these updates, please like, subscribe, and share. Today's video comes from Lenny's podcast. Joining us is Boris Cherny, head of Claude Code at Anthropic, who argues that coding is largely a solved problem. This commentary explores his counterintuitive principles for the AI era, why underfunding projects increases velocity, why you should build for models that don't exist yet, and why the title software engineer will soon disappear. This isn't just about new tools, it's a fundamental shift in how we build. Let's get into his analysis. Boris Cherny, the head of Claude Code at Anthropic, presents a reality that completely shatters our understanding of what a software engineer actually does. If someone told you that the head of a major coding platform hasn't written a single line of code in months, you would probably assume they have moved into a purely managerial role. He states that since November, 100% of his code has been written by AI. He hasn't edited a single line by hand. This isn't just about using an assistant to speed up work. It is a fundamental transformation of the profession. The traditional mental model is that an engineer thinks, types, and debugs, while AI might offer suggestions in the margins. Boris reverses this completely. He ships 20 to 30 pull requests every single day, a volume that is physically impossible for a human typist without ever touching the syntax himself. He believes that for all intents and purposes, coding is largely solved. He argues that the skill of writing code is becoming irrelevant because we are entering a world where anyone can build software instantly, and the title of software engineer will likely disappear, replaced simply by builder. Even more jarring is his prediction regarding the tools of the trade. The Integrated Development Environment, or IDE, is the carpenter's workbench of the digital age. It is where all software has been born for decades. Boris predicts that by the end of this year, you might not even need an IDE to code anymore. When he first said this, the room audibly gasped. His reasoning is that as AI agents move from generating text to acting in the world, fixing bugs, running terminal commands, and deploying apps autonomously, the interface of a text editor becomes obsolete. The work doesn't happen on your screen anymore. It happens in the background, carried out by agents running for hours or days unattended. Now, let's look at how this shift completely reverses the conventional wisdom of engineering management and resource allocation. Standard business wisdom dictates that if you want a project finished faster, you add more engineers or increase the budget. Boris argues the exact opposite. Underfunding a project is now the secret to velocity. His counterintuitive principle is that you should deliberately under-resource teams, put a single engineer on a massive project. The reasoning behind this is that scarcity forces the engineer to rely on AI. If you have a team of 10, they will fall back on human coordination and meetings. If you have one person doing the work of 10, they have no choice but to automate everything with Claude. He has found that this desperation to ship drives the adoption of agentic workflows that produce results 200% faster than traditional teams. This reversal extends to financial efficiency as well. In a time when companies are trying to cut cloud costs, he advises the opposite. Give engineers unlimited tokens. He notes that some individual engineers at Anthropic are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on AI inference tokens. To a traditional CFO, this sounds like a disaster. But Boris views this expense as negligible compared to the output. He treats token spend not as a cost center to be minimized, but as a lever for experimentation. If spending $100,000 allows one engineer to do the work of an entire department, the cost is irrelevant. Moving deeper into the engineering philosophy, Boris challenges the very architecture of how we build with AI. The current industry standard for building AI applications is orchestration. Engineers build rigid workflows, step A, then step B, then step C, carefully guarding the AI to ensure it doesn't mess up. Boris calls this a mistake. He believes you should never try to box the model in. His view is a form of engineering rebellion. Giving the model strict steps actually makes it stupider. Instead, he argues you should just give the agent a goal and a set of tools and let it figure out the path itself. He has found that the bitter lesson of AI research applies here. General, unconstrained models will always eventually outperform carefully handcrafted human systems. The messy, unpredictable path the AI chooses is often more efficient than the rigid pipeline an engineer designs. This philosophy leads to perhaps the most risky product strategy imaginable, building for a model that doesn't exist yet. Most product managers build software based on the capabilities available today. If the AI is bad at coding, you build a tool that helps humans correct the AI. Boris takes the opposite approach. He builds for the model he expects to see in 6 months, He admits this means your product market fit will be terrible for half a year. When they first built Claude Code, the underlying models weren't good enough to support it. It felt broken. But his reasoning is that AI improvement is exponential, not linear. By the time you finish building the product, the model will have caught up. If you build for today's limitations, your product is obsolete the moment it launches. He's effectively betting the entire company's roadmap on vaporware, trusting that the exponential curve of intelligence will fill in the gaps just in time. Finally, there is a fascinating disruption regarding where innovation actually comes from, which he calls latent demand. We typically think product design involves identifying a user problem and building a specific solution. Boris suggests that with AI, the best approach is to simply expose the raw model in a crude environment and watch how users misuse it. He observed that before they even built specific tools, users were hacking the terminal interface of Claude Code to do things that had nothing to do with coding, analyzing their genome, recovering photos from corrupted hard drives, or even growing tomatoes. These users were jumping through technical hoops to use a coding tool for biology. This redefines the relationship between user and software. The product isn't the app, the product is the raw intelligence. The users aren't just consumers. They are discovering capabilities the creators didn't know existed. His strategy is to look for where the model is being abused, to do things it wasn't designed for, and then pave that cow path, rather than trying to dictate the use case from the top down. Boris Cherny demonstrates a willingness to systematically bet on the trajectory of intelligence rather than the stability of human processes. He's willing to discard the fundamental definition of his own job, writing code and the tools that support it, because he sees a future where the only thing that matters is the intent, not the implementation. The question is, if the role of the software engineer dissolves into the role of a builder who simply directs a fleet of agents, are we prepared for the speed at which this new world will arrive? If you're interested in the video featured in this episode, click the link below to watch the original.